the hopefully the final fitment for the front splitter. So as you can see, I redesigned it so that when air hits through here, it's going to kick into the wheel wells. I'll show it a little bit closer. I'll get a little bit closer, but you can see right here, this will kick the air out into the wheel wells there, and then of course these will be kicking air into the wheel wells, so I'll get a nice flat you know, angle going there for, you know, to kind of disrupt the air, not disrupt the air, but just to get the air in the air I want, or the air in the direction I want to go. Before I made the tip a little bit wider. This time I made it smaller. That way more air can be diverted. And you know, that away from the middle section, and this will go all the way up to the cross member. You know, right where that engine sits, pretty close. So I'll be able to cover all that. And then I reshaped the wheels here, and I was off on my dimensions going this way to make that first triangle. So that's why it looks completely different. So this actually kind of looks like an airplane. I don't know. I wonder if I can put it together and fly it. But anyway, let's get a little bit closer look at it. Of course, these will be flat, you know, flat with this angle, so that, you know, it'll be tweaked a little bit there. I'm just pieced it all together to kind of show you what it's going to look like. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start piecing it all together, gluing it, and then just kind of putting that hot iron against, you know, all the little seams. So all the big stuff, I think I'm going to start in the middle and then work out. That way I get the glue gun and stuff out of the way, and then work my way out this way. And that way I can flip it over and make sure that everything's nice and sturdy. And then once we get everything put together, and then I'll do a test fit underneath and go from there. But like I said, you can see how the air will divert right through there on out. So because this is the front of the car, right through here, front of the car. So it's going to divert, you know, some of that air into the wheel wells. And then, like I said, this is for our downforce right here, these little scoops. And those are, like I said, are at a 12-degree angle. And that's what everybody says is where it needs to be. If any more or less, then less works, but any more than 12 degrees, you know, at a slope, 12 degree slope, then they say you're not accomplishing anything. You get more vortices. But I think this is a much better setup than my last one after redesigning it. And hopefully all my measurements are spot on this time. Luckily, you know, like I said, this is my first time going at this. So it's definitely a learning curve. All right, so what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to start just at the top, take the two pieces, glue them, you know, and just work my way down through the middle, and then work my way out. Because once I get to the smaller pieces, then I have to start using the hot iron, and that way I can get nice and straight, you know, using the big pieces. So I don't know why they print numbers on one side and not on the other. I have no idea. Like I said, I'm not a 3D printer type of guy, but that's how that's set up. And it came a little rough on this side, but like I said, I'm gonna have to fiberglass it anyway. And I think that's gonna turn out really good. And yeah, so let's get gluing and kind of piece it together. All right, let's see if we hot glue gun's hot enough. Glue some pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the middle first. So I want the middle glued first, and then piece them together. So see, we make a piece like this, and then we'll do this piece, and then we'll glue the outside of that, and then connect to that piece. Let's see, it's on high. See, like that. So we'll let that sit up a little bit, and then we'll come back and we'll just glue these sections, those three, and then we'll work on the next ones. All right, it's all hot glued and everything like that, but I'm gonna take my hot iron and go ahead and weld every seam just for now, and then I can put it underneath the car and give it a little test fit and see how close we are up on this edge. It should be fairly close. And I mean, to glue this all only took what, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So like I said, then I can kind of place it up on the car and see exactly how well I did on my measurements. All right, so I'm just gonna, like I said, hot iron the seams and then test fit it, and then we'll come back and put these on. All right, so I'm just going to go right down the middle first. Get these seams up. Like I said, even though it's glued, I might drop it or something, and this will just give that little extra protection. So this one's a lot easier. This one was a lot easier to model because a lot of it's flat, and the flat, you know, you don't have to do a whole lot when it's flat. But with the back end, where it has the wheel well curves and everything, it takes a little bit more finessing. Quick. There we go. That's looking better. Yeah. So. Trying to do a couple of things at once. So like I said, I just went back and started on the deck lid again, and then I went back to this, kind of going back and forth. You know, it's kind of funny because this is just, it's kind of a nice break from just sanding all the time. So this is something different, something like I said I'd never really done before. So this is just something new, something a little more fun. And it's going to be interesting to see the final product on this. So I've seen a lot of other people do it different ways. Some people use like a foam core and then they model it around that. I've seen some people 3D print a whole bumper, you know, and making complete car parts out of just 3D printing, which is pretty freaking cool. I think he had like a Toyota, I can't remember what it was anyway. Then he took like because he redid their whole front end, and so he took a model of a Lexus bumper, and he kind of intertwined them and combined them together and made his own custom front bumper. And so once he was done with what he was doing there, it turned out pretty good, I have to admit. It was a drift car he was making his for, and the drift car turned out to be, or he was drifting and he caught something on his bumper and kind of ripped it off. And what was cool, it ripped off a little chunk of the actual plastic with the fiberglass, and all he did was he just went and just refiberglassed that chunk. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. All right. So there we go. Boy, it's pretty light. Look at that. I mean, I could just do one finger, and feels pretty sturdy now that I'm gonna call it weld. You know, welding the plastic pieces together. Feels a lot more sturdy. I'm gonna do the other side. Before, when I'd pick it up, I could feel it wanting to bend a little bit. So it's definitely, you have to glue, and then you have to do your hot iron to kind of weld it together to even make it a little more sturdy. So I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. I mean, isn't that kind of cool how that just melts it together? Kind of looks like a weld. Yeah. Yeah. This is a nice little hobby. Wing, he's enjoying doing something like this because, you know, he likes the 3D printing and stuff. That's his little hobby. So I really appreciate it, Wing, for you doing this for me. You know, if I ever get doing more vehicles or anything like that and doing more custom pieces, you know, I'll probably end up buying my own 3D printer. But it's very cool that he's kind of showed me, you know, how to do this and everything. That's pretty cool of him. You know, I like learning new stuff. I like trying new stuff, and this is pretty fun. I'm having a really fun time. I think you guys are probably finding this a little more interesting than just me sanding on the car all the time, because we're kind of creating something new. And yeah, I mean, this is fun. So, but tell you the truth, working on my car and everything, it is work. But if you're enjoying it, like as a hobby and that, it's not really work. You do feel it, you know, in your arms and stuff. Like when you're sanding, I mean, it is work. You are using, you know, your energy to do this. So only thing I'm finding is I have to kind of press a little bit hard on this, so it's kind of hurt my fingers a little bit because I want to get kind of down in there. Not pressing hard, but enough to put pressure on my fingers. Okay. So here's the initial test fit. I might be off a little bit with the
the fins, but I can always grind those down. You know, cut them the way it needs to be. But as you can see, or maybe you can't see, I don't know. Perfect angle to miss my suspension, and then it'll come up through here, and you know, go up into there. So I just wanted to kind of show you that's how it's going to sit underneath there. And of course this will be bolted in and, you know, pieced in. So, and then I got to fix a little bit of the lip there, but this is going to give me the basic shape for underneath here. So this is what my main concern was the suspension pieces right here. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to mount this. So on the cross member here, I got holes, which I could put bolt, you know, I could probably put some bolts or something right through here. Actually, right here, there's two bolts right there that I can make little brackets right there because there's holes. So I can make a bracket to hold this into place, and there's 2 holes in the back there too. Okay. So that will do. That'll be the holes for there. And then once we get up here, of course, up in the fiberglass itself to hold it. And then I also have, let's see, where are those bolts? Anyway, there's plenty of things that I can bolt to. Oh, right here on these edges right here. So there's a bolt right there that I can bring down. And so if I have these 2 bolts, 4 bolts right there, and a bunch of bolts here, that'll be really sturdy and it won't move. And that will hold it up into place. All right, so let's go ahead and finish gluing and welding this together and see how close I got to this lip. Like I said, I might have to adjust. You know, I might have to shave down just a little bit to make it fit, but that's okay as long as we're close. All right, so to finish this off, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these 3 pieces and then put these ones actually onto the center column. And then once I get that center column, then I can, you know, because this, see, this has to go like this flat. So I have to adjust, I have to do this one a little different. Oh, this one's a little off. Get that nice and flat, but see how we're got a little bit of a bend. I might want to sand that down a little bit. Just right there in the center. All right, well anyway, so that's what I'll do. We'll do these 3 pieces, and you can kind of see how the air is going to scoop up, and then that one's going to scoop out. Okay, so I've been told that by doing this, it's going to give me another 50 horsepower at least. Nah, I'm just kidding. Kid joking around. Horsepower is only good. It's only good enough for what the aero is. Like I said, with these C3 Corvettes, there's only so much you can do. You know, for aero, you'd basically have to redesign the car from the ground up. You know, to actually make it work. You know, to have like full aero, because you'd have to redesign the whole bottom and everything like that. So yeah, to make it actually work. But so like I said, you can only do so much. My rear diffuser, once I get it on there, it's probably really not going to do a whole hell of a lot, to tell you the truth. I mean, it will,
I mean, it'll make a difference because it's like just a huge parachute back there, and we'll be getting rid of that parachute effect in the back. But is it going to direct all that airflow and, you know, bring the downforce and, you know, and all that? Probably not to the full potential it could be. Like I said, you'd have to really redesign the whole car just to make it really, really work, you know. And but anything's better than that parachute area back there. If I can stop a lot of that air from going up into that parachute area, you know, that's a win. For the front splitter, this is going to make more of a difference. This is definitely going to make more of a difference than the rear diffuser, because this will create more downforce up in the front, especially with the these cars being, you know, up front. It starts to lift when you're going high speeds. So with the hood vent, you know, and then of course I got my spoiler down here, my chin spoiler. The chin spoiler probably gonna make the biggest difference in control when you're going higher speeds. And then of course the splitter underneath will also help. And then of course, because what happens is the air comes before it come through, and it still does come through, but then it creates a little vortex in the engine area, and without that hood vent, it has nowhere to go, so it lifts, you know, the whole thing lifts. So with that air vent, it's going to cause that air to go up through the bottom and come out, you know. One of the problems I might have is the venting of the wheel wells, you know, because they go quite a ways up in there. You know, if they were just kind of flat tubbed, that would help out a lot. That way you could redirect the air out. I was actually thinking of cutting through this little fiberglass wall right between here and the wheel well, putting like a little air vent catch right here, and coming out of the first vent, making a little, you know, to help with the lift up in the wheel well. That's going to be after I get all this done, and we'll see. I'll drive it a little bit and see what I think. So that's always down the road. All right, I think my iron's hot enough. I'll go ahead and weld this little piece here, these pieces here, and then I'll take them down to that bigger piece. Okay, gotta make sure that's flush. Okay, it's all put together. It's a little off in this one area right here, just the way it just couldn't fit it all together exactly, but that's no big deal as long as the rest is, you know, the shape I want. This to be sanded down. I mean, it's literally just a millimeter. We're gonna let it sit a little bit, flip it over to the other side, and let it harden, you know, or let it dry, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Let the plastic, you know, cool down. And then we'll do one more test fit. And I think we'll be pretty damn close. All right, we're looking pretty good. We are off just a little bit, but nothing fiberglass will fix. So this, I'm going to use this piece. We are done 3D modeling. Let me see if I can kind of hold this up into place. Get my knee on this corner and then on that corner, but so okay, so something like that. So you can see just a hair short right through there, but a little bit of fiberglass right in there, you know, and it'll be
I'll have it lined up perfectly. So everything else is straight and everything like that. So that is looking really good. I don't know if you can see it all the way. I'm trying to hold this in the camera and everything else. So you can kind of see all the way down. That will help out a lot. And then you can, sorry guys, I'm trying my best here. And then, like I said, the air comes in through here, goes out into the wheel well area, help divert it a little bit. And then, trying to, like I said, let me go this way. Maybe, I don't know. Hold on. Move the flashlight. Like I said, I'm trying to hold it all. Okay. So I know it's flopping down, but you can see where that, where those little vents, or not vents, whatever you want to call them, pick up and kick out and help divert that air and channel that air a little bit more. And then also once I get a little more money, I want to change out the front suspension and be able to lower it up in the front a little bit, kind of give it that little bit of a rake too. So that little bit of a rake will help to later down the road. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna use this piece. That piece is ready to go for the most part. Which it's, you know, like I said, it's wobbly, so I have to, when I fiberglass it, I have to make sure it's flat and strong. But yeah, there we go. Whew. There you go. It's kind of in bad lighting, but let's take it out here. Maybe this will help get some natural light. There we go. So that's the finished piece. We came close. Like I said, just need a little more up top there. No big deal.
All right, one more thing
before I let you guys go. So I decided to weigh it. It's only 6.4 pounds as of right now. So that's, you know, that's not too bad. I mean, I can lift this with one hand pretty easy. You know, if I was to go over and try to lift that diffuser is pretty heavy. I wonder how much it weighs. I'll weigh it real quick. But yeah, and you know, I know, and like I said, most people, they want this bottom end flat. Like I said, there's only so much you can do, you know, with these Corvettes, these C3 Corvettes. You know, I don't, like I said, this isn't aerospace engineering or anything for me, but if I can divert air away, you know, that's just my thinking, and get it out of the wheel wells and keep the center stable, it should work better that way. I don't know. Like I said, I'm no aerospace engineer, but if I was to flow water over that, you know, you'd just see water being dumped out of these and going where they need to go, and then water being diverted, you know, the same way, diverted out. It's basically the same kind of, you know, not really, it is. It's kind of the same in a way, you know, how water flows. And I can visualize water flowing better than I can airflow. So that's kind of how, when I was designing this, how I would kind of visualize it. Like, oh, well, if this was water, what would happen? You know? So there you go. That's basically it. Let me let me weigh how much that diffuser is, just for curiosity, and then we can compare later on, once I get the other one built, how much it weighs, and see the weight difference. That's 26 pounds and 8 ounces. 26.8. So it's quite heavy. So we'll see the weight difference once we get the 3D printed version. Okay, see you guys next time.